It's cold, it's raining. Birmingham have just switched on their Christmas lights. It can only mean one thing. It's Motorcycle Live. And I'm here with John. I was just about to ask him what he's most looking forward to seeing this year, but do you know what? I think he's just set eyes on it. John, can you stop caressing that exhaust? It's making me feel a bit sick.
It's not happening. Have a look at this. Have you seen the buttons? There's twisty things. This one is XXX-500, stamped on the headstock. It's the absolutely sextastic Superleggera.
I do agree with you. It's a stunning bike, John, but to be honest, just started to bore me. So I'm going to go and take a look around.
But you do know that the chassis weighs less.
So while John's off fondling the Superleggera, I thought I'd introduce you to a new member of the Bike World team, Alex. Alex, tell us what you're going to be doing on Bike World.
So I'm on an A2 license myself, which means I'm going to be looking at all the A2 friendly bikes which are on offer. It's kind of a thing that I've seen myself where there's just not much coverage of it. So I really want to teach people and show them what was on offer for them.
So what are you looking forward to seeing here at Motorcycle Live?
So for me, gear is probably where I'm looking at the moment. Particularly, there's a couple of things on show today which could make some really good Christmas gifts because it is round the corner after all. So as a bloke, I really like my watches, and there's this Yamaha stand which has some great stuff on it. So then you've got the Chrono series, which have these little chronographs at the top, come in all different ranges of colours. You've also got this little Valentino Rossi thing, which is really nice. They always sell out, and they're just really cool watches.
It's a good price as well. They're like 100
not
quid.
Bad. It's 100 quid, and for a nice watch, that's really not that bad. So it makes a great gift for Christmas kind of thing. Not breaking the budget. But to be honest, I've got to say my favourite, 350, but it's just really nice. It's the vintage Faster Sons looking one. And just look at it, it's just nice.
Yeah, I like that
I would
style.
happily wear that on my wrist. I mean, mine are quite thin, so I might look a bit girly with it.
Why don't you just pop it on your wrist now?
Yeah.
We'll do a runner. So Alex, I've had a mooch around myself and I found this by Yamaha. It's a little mini snowmobile. It's for kids aged 6 to 10, so I thought it'd be perfect for you as a Christmas present.
All right, cheeky, but I actually love this thing.
It's not actually that expensive either, 75 quid, and Yamaha have sold out of them at the show, so that just goes to show how popular they are.
That's great. Do you know if they have a bigger version?
They do, but I think it goes about 70 miles per hour and it's got an engine in it. Alex, you seem to have deviated from the task at hand, looking for gadgets and Christmas gifts.
Yeah, I guess that's right, but the Royal Enfield Himalayan, I've seen it around in India, and I didn't think it would actually come to the UK. Turns out it is, and it's now Euro 4 compliant, it's A2 compliant, which ticks the boxes for me, and it's coming in April 2017.
And it's going to be around about $4,000, isn't it, they reckon?
Yeah, which is crazy. Like for an adventure bike, which you can kind of do all the technical stuff on, for me, that's absolutely brilliant.
And what's interesting as well is that all this is loaded up with all the accessories that you can get, just prototypes at the moment, but they reckon that for all of this, it's going to be about £500. So you're looking at a bike for around about 4,700, say.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, my maths are 4 plus 5 is 4,500, but maybe it could be on your Christmas gift list.
So a couple of episodes ago, I bumped into Maria Costello. This is Maria Costello here at the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride. Maria is not a gentleman. She is, however, a family friend of BMW and has been for quite some time. And we've challenged Maria to excite us and quickly fill in the gaps on what's new from BMW for 2017. G310R, tell me about that.
Yeah, I think this is a really great model to bring into the BMW range because it's a first stepping stone. Fantastic for newcomers to motorcycling, maybe people with shorter legs, women I think. It's that first stepping stone into the BMW brand. And I haven't actually ridden it. I know you have.
I forgot I've ridden it. So this is an emerging markets bike. It's built in India in collaboration with the TVS factory. They're looking at China as a new market, they're looking at South America as a new market, and that bike suits the nature of those emerging markets, but at the same time, it just so happens that it suits the A2 license-friendly category that we've got here in the UK. And you say the female market, but the seat height itself is comparable with Nerd Alert, the Yamaha XJ6 or something like that.
But I've tried it.
So it's no piddler. Yeah, it's no piddler. Pretty good fun to ride as well, considering it is only like a 300cc bike. It's quite good fun, I thought. We should talk about a really fast bike or a really good-looking bike. You choose.
Well, I do love the R9Ts, and they've brought out, seems like 10 other models of the R9T this year. It's coming in every shape, size and colour. So there's a mass in front of us here. I'm really happy with just the standard.
The base model for me still works, and the principle of modular customization still works. So you can make that bike look like one of three quite simply and quite easily in your garage with the tools that it comes with. So that 310 looks and feels a little bit like an S1000R, a bike that I love and have pulled many lovely wheelies on a lot. But they're also developing that range, and we know that there's already an adventure version in the pipeline.
Yeah, the GS in sort of miniature. Fantastic. It's okay, so it's still a long way off from being a proper GS, but it has got the ABS on it and...
Shameless cop-out or genuine off-road ability? That's the question.
Well, I'd like to try one to find out.
I'm really, really, really bad off-road, so I'll just have to take your word for it.
I'm no good either, but I want to give
Great.
it a go.
We're pretty good at this.
Now, whenever I come to Motorcycle Live, I always like to catch up with my favourite motorcycle artist, Steve Wyman. Now, Steve, whenever I look at your pictures, I've always got to remind myself that they aren't photos.
They're not
is
photos,
art.
no. It's all art, yes. It's all paintings. It's no photography at all, no.
Just remind us, though, how you do the pictures, like that picture of Valentino Rossi over there, because it just does look like a photo.
It's just basically starting out with an idea, photographs as a source, and then away you go. Start pencil, putting the pencil layer down, and then just spend hours and hours and hours with masking film, scalpels and an airbrush, and lots of patience.
And when you say hours and hours, these pictures take you like 6 to 8 weeks
Yeah,
to do, don't they?
about 8 weeks now, yeah. They get more and more detailed. When you look back at how it used to be, 15 years ago to how it is now, they're taking even longer to do, because the detail gets more and more crazy.
I love these abstract pictures that you've got, particularly this one behind you. And you've actually said that these pictures are very popular with the ladies out there.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's because it's the sort of picture you can hang in your house that's not a full-on bike picture. So you can hang that in your living room or in your dining room. You know it's a bike-related picture, but nobody else does. So it's just a nice piece of abstract art.
And obviously, all your pictures are really arty, but do you feel like it's a bit more sort of your contemporary artist side coming out?
Well, I still like to do the sort of detailed bike picture. I won't stop doing that. But it's nice to do a little, something a bit more creative, rather than just almost sort of copying what is natural. So just a little bit of creativity, like the thing behind you, just a bit more way out, you're just looking for new angles to try and suit the market, really.
If you get a chance to get to this show, or indeed any motorbike show, what you're going to need to perfect is the tried and tested methods of kicking tyres, pinging clutches, and basically sitting on bikes and getting a feel for how fast they go. Maria is about to demonstrate with this stunning new Suzuki GSX-R1000. So immediately, upon placing your feet on the pegs and your chin on the tank, you get a feel, bum dyno wise, what are we saying?
It feels like a Suzuki.
Feels like a Suzuki. How fast do you reckon it will go?
Well, fast. It feels fast.
Okay, why don't you try another tuck?
I'm going to need a bump stop.
Okay.
The levers are in the right position.
Have you,
Yeah, the clutch. I've tried the clutch.
how's the action?
There we go.
That's nice. It feels progressive, linear, not too granular.
I am
like it.
fascinated by how everybody does this, and they seem to find out.
We're kind of joking a little bit. It's a GSX-R1000, it's the new one. It's going to be a badass, but again, there's no point saying how good it is until you've actually ridden the thing.
I'd love to try this.
We could kick the front tyre, which would basically round off a full and complete world first test.
You can do that bit.
All right, I'm in. Nice, nice. Needs a couple of PSI out, I reckon. Turn the warmers up a bit. But getting back to it, look at what's going on. Looks like a TFT screen. Got the shower, balance free, forks, buttons ahoy, traction control everywhere.
I think this is going to be probably the most interesting thing to come out of the show.
This bike.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. I would, this and the Fireblade for me, the two bikes that have been lagging behind the longest in terms of software to help road riders have now suddenly got the lot.
This is the biggest jump, isn't it, for the 1000cc?
Yeah. And the question would be, Is it existing GSX-R1000 owners that are going to be more excited, or is it traction control riding other litre sports bikes from other manufacturers who have been waiting for a GSX-R to come along? You know, who's it going to appeal to more? I don't know. It's Scott Reddin. He's a MotoGP rider. He's a really, really good MotoGP rider. You've had a third this year at Assen. You've had a fourth, contracted next year to ride the satellite Ducati. We're going to trade questions. I'm going to ask you one question about Monkey Fresh. If you answer me one question about what you think about this new Superleggero behind us.
Okay. Well, as you see, it is a nice bit of kit for a start. You know, beautiful looking bike, like art almost. And I think it is one of those bikes that is the closest thing to a MotoGP race bike. You know, and to have something that advanced with all the electronics on the road is something very special.
And that power to weight, you know, it's something like 157, 158 kilos, but 215 horsepower.
Yeah,
it's more like your numbers than it is any numbers that I've ever experienced.
Yeah, that's the thing. To have that with a number plate on the street's kind of unreal. You know, that is a full race bike, minor one or two small details.
Yeah.
But I think you could buy that bike, you could race that in the World Superbike, and you could be, you know, quite competitive.
Yeah. Well, you could. I couldn't. Monkey Fresh, what's the deal? What's going on up there?
Yeah, Monkey Fresh. It's a new clothing brand that I'm just starting. I like designing and I like fashion, so I kind of got a couple of mates together and said, I want to do something, and we came up with the name Monkey Fresh. And no, it's quite good. It just takes my mind a little bit away from racing when I have chill time. And no, it's good. It's just doing like snapbacks, t-shirts, long lines, a bit different style, you know, keeping it clean, keeping it fresh, and that's what we want to do.
Monkey Fresh. MotoGP next year. I think you're building every year, success upon success. How do you think the year is going to go next year for Mr. Bradley Smith?
Yeah, honestly, I think the KTM's not doing too bad for how young the project is. And now you've got two riders with quite good experience now on it that can develop it. And you know, I think he'll do quite well. You know, he's a hard worker, and that's some of that project's need. So I think they hired the right guy for the job.
Scott, thanks very much for talking to us about the bike and about Monkey Fresh. I know that the camera reel's about to run out, so you've got about 5 seconds to plug out of that.
www.monkeyfreshaudi.co.uk.
We've approached the end of our time at the show. I did have this really funky blonde sat on a bike to do this amazing out at the end of the show with, but she went home, and it sounds really bad, and now I'm about to get punched in the eye by somebody with an MBE. But Maria and I have spent a little bit more time looking at a few of the other bikes on a few of the other stands, and I was just talking about how exciting it is to have so many sports bikes. Maria Costello, being a TT racer, was more excited by weird retro tut. What are you saying?
And the race bikes being here as well.
But if you were choosing one bike to ride home on today, right now, what's it going to be?
I'd probably pick something off the National Motorcycle Museum stand.